when you got everything to lose it all. When you got everything to lose it all.
The German real estate developer and multimillionaire Christoph Gröner has an appointment with the Düsseldorf city mayor. Gröner meets frequently with local politicians because they're the ones who award building contracts. And local politicians meet frequently with people like Christoph Gröner. Sometimes the real estate tycoon has 4 meetings like this in a day. How much influence do the super rich wield? We sought to answer that question by looking at Gröner and many others in Germany. At first glance, it seems to be a wealthy, powerful country brimming with opportunities. But on closer examination, Germany is among those industrialized countries with the widest gap between rich and poor. Success is often dependent on social background. Why is economic mobility so low in Germany? Is social inequality threatening social cohesion? To find answers, we traveled the world. We spoke to a Nobel laureate and other leading researchers, all experts on the dynamics of inequality.
The world is at a crossroads today.
People sense that the control of their nation is being stolen from them.
Inequality is the most pressing social problem facing us today.
Welcome to the land of inequality. Christoph Gröner has 4 children and multiple millions. For 6 months, he let our cameras follow him at public appearances.
We're the ones with opportunity, time, and money. We have to get involved. We are the state, and ours is one of the best nations in the world.
And behind the scenes of his business, one of Germany's biggest construction companies.
I'm Zach Brown, CEO of McLaren Racing.
All derelict, all trash.
He got rich with real estate and worked his way to the top.
There's no better society than ours here in Germany. We have a new seating plan. Let's go. Mr. Greichen here on the right, you there, that's great.
He's a leading property market investor, generating millions of square meters of living space. Does his wealth lend him power? Christoph Gröner on his way to another meeting. Today he wants to personally ensure that a project to construct a new neighborhood doesn't get bogged down in red tape.
It's a bit scary when you realize how easily you achieve your goals. That correlation, as I think I become. I have a vision of what I want to achieve, and bang, it works. And when you go a step further, and that works too, it's powerful. You learn to be tough as you pursue your goals, or rather your company's goals.
Here in Cologne, Christoph Gröner has acquired half of an entire street in the district of Mülheim. He plans to build a new neighborhood called Coloneo to the tune of 350 million euros. Today, he and his Cologne team are discussing the pending building permit. Gröner thinks things are moving too slowly.
This is Psalms chapter 73 and verse 1. And as you see, this is titled or headed "The End of the Wicked," contrasted with that of the righteous. The end of the wicked contrasted with that of the righteous. Verse 1, a psalm of Asaph. Truly God is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. But it says they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. In the NLT, these fat cats have everything. These fat cats have everything their hearts could ever wish for. Back in that KJV, verse 7. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. All right. I'm gonna say call halam la Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Wahara Kakodash. That's all praises to the Most High in the name of His Son. Yahweh being the true name of the Heavenly Father, who people call God, whose true name is Yahweh in the ancient Hebrew tongue. In the Hebrew tongue. And Yahweh Shai being the name of who people call Jesus, whose true name is Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessings to the elect. Much love and respect. All to the hopeful elect, all those awakening and fighting a good fight of faith, being awakened to the faith. Peace and blessings and much love, and honor to the brothers, the men, the true brothers and true men at the Great Millstone Church. Chiefly salutations and to the elder apostles at the Great Millstone Church. Shalom. So,
elitism
is what you just witnessed. Elitism. It says a political philosophy. Political is a political philosophy. Elitism is the notion that individuals who form an elite, meaning a select group with desirable qualities such as intellect, wealth, power, physical attractiveness, notability, special skills, experience, lineage, are more likely to be constructive to society. See that? And deserve greater influence or authority. See that? And this basically is just the breakdown for being of the people whose world it is, which is, so-called white man's world. Biblically, Esau's world. All right? If it's your world, you're entitled to everything. Because, again, of with it being your world, right, you have the desired qualities of that said world. Such as intellect, right? So they got the IQ. It goes by their everything's off the standard of the so-called white man, from like the doses of things you're supposed to take, etc. As a, Israelite in this world, or a non-so-called white man in specifics. All right, onward to the wealth. to do certain things in this world, to call certain shots in this world, you have to have the standard for what allows one to do such things. And the only one that are able to do such things that meet that standard most times, majority of the times, despite the speckles of people you see from other ethnicities, ethnic groups, is the so-called white man, which gives you the power because, and then also the power, so power being basically influence, also, which is what was mentioned in that video. Special skills, right? Experience, lineage, all right? That's elitism, all right?
Elitism.
It says are more likely to be constructive to society, right? So everything where you're only going to be able to make, add, and take away from this world if you are of this group, which this group consists of, right, is comprised of so-called white men, right, Edomites, in particular, Amalek and Teman, all right, who are grandchildren of Esau. Those are the top Edomites. All right, and it says also and deserve greater influence or authority. So it's a hierarchy. You have to see that there is a hierarchy. You just heard it in the video, but they will tell you, according to their own dang Google, right? Which is owned by the elites as well, right? Is the notion, So it's like hearsay. So it's a take, it's a perspective, it's a, whatever, an opinion. But reading on the advocacy of existence of an elite as a dominating element in a society, in a system or society. All right, so that's what it is, man. All right, that's exactly what you heard. In this video, you see money and power. How much influence do the super rich have? The super rich, and this levels to that. The super rich, truly, these people will be of the elite, if you will, or the lower class of the elite, because they are able to do. This guy that you just heard, he's able to do all the said things, and because he have all these said things, is white. But according to this, only by having all these said things, or will you be able to be constructive? Which, go figure, ironically, spiritually, he would be in construction. But again, these people, they got everything to lose it all. They got everything it is to get, only to lose it all. All right? Because they are the wicked. So when we go here to the scriptures, their eyes stand out with fatness and in specifics because they are the Edomites. And those that really got money, they know what's going on. They know, meaning they know who they are. They know what's what. They know who is who. They understand the Bible and all these said things. Right? Germany is close to Russia, which Russia, they're aware of what? Of who are the Israelites. Right? You have Vladimir Putin, who knows, right? And aware of, he knows that the Israelites, right, the people of the Bible are so-called black people. He knows this. All right. What image do you think he's seen when he looked at this? Well, these are the Russian icons, which is the only place, right, that iconoclasm, right, parts of Europe, places where places where the destruction of certain icons that were painted of the people of the Bible, which are Israelites, who are so-called black people, were defaced to hide that fact. People all over Russia knows this. Wear Russian icons on display in Moscow. Alright? So they all know. Official government website of the government of Russia. Federation. Alright? They all know. These is who your so-called elites, they check in with, like the kings did in past time. When you go to 1 Kings, the 22nd chapter, the kings always counseled with the prophets, which Esau, he tries to follow these same concepts, but twisted on the left hand side. The Bible tell you about that. The wicked do that. All right, they follow the scriptures, but they flip it. So they'll have priests, they'll have prophets, and see it and all this crazy stuff. All right, so when you come to 22:2, and it came to pass in the 3rd year that Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, came down to Israel. Right. Let's jump to verse 5. And Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Israel, right? 2 kings talking with kings. The elites get with other elites. See that? I pray thee at the word of the Lord, right? Today. Right? I pray thee at the word of the Lord today. Then the king of Israel gathered the prophets together. See that? That's what they do. And Esau, he does this on the left hand side. They take things and they flip it. The wicked do this, I tell you this in the movie of one of my favorite movies of all time, the movie the film Devil's Advocate. Basically at the end of the movie, Satan, right, played by Al Pacino, the devil, he says how Satan he wants his own. Satan, he wants to make up basically his own laws, right? Which was what he was referring to was actually the judicial system that actually exists, like the actual American judicial system, right? He's gonna make his own priesthood and all this, because he was literally the devil. That's exactly who he was in the movie. He was Satan. He was the devil, in the flesh, if you will. But so they you got that, and the scriptures say the Lord talk about that. See if I can pull that up. I'm trying to get back to my point. Grab that real quick. Yeah, it's Psalms in the 50th chapter. It says, I'm gonna jump down to the point. Verse 16. It says, but unto the wicked God said, the Most High, the Heavenly Father saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? See that? So this they try to do. They try to pick up the scriptures and use counsel and look at the counsel of the Lord. They read the scriptures, which we're gonna get back in the previous chapter. They're aware of the Heavenly Father, what's going on, the fact that there's a table of nations, there's a birthright, all of that, right? But they take it and they twist it, which is what he's going on to say now. All right? Let's lock in, man. It says, let me see something real quick where I'm at. Or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, right? Because you're not the Israelites. Seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my word behind thee. See that? Because that's what they do. They pick it up and then they just twist it and flip it. Don't actually follow it. Right? When thou sawest a thief, thou consentest with him. You know, you read scriptures. If he say stealing bad, they'll say stealing is good, because they know they don't have the Lord, right? Then thou consentest with him and has been a partaker with adulterers. It says, thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue framest deceit. Right? Get to the point. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son. And who was that? That was Esau. It's talking about Esau and Jacob. You know, thou sittest and speak against thy brother. Thou slanderest thy own mother's son. This is what the kings of the earth do. So they pick up the Bible and they flip it, they twist it. This is, you know, so they go to, you know, they read it. Okay, kings go to the prophets, they inquire, and you know they got to try to have the same type of concept, you know. So I don't know if I'm gonna read this first or just go back to what I was showing with the pictures, you know. But that's why you see all of this, you know. Let me read it. This is Psalm 73. And verse 78, 8, it says, they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. They set their mouths against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Exactly, is what they say, because this is their world, right? The earth has been given to them, you know, and they know that, and that was what was prophesied. But see, this is how we know you got everything to lose it all. Right, everything there is to get, because that's what was given to you, and they know this, right? The elites, that is, right? The fake kings. Now, when you read on, right, because when it says against the heavens, meaning they set their mouths against the heavens, so everything they do is in opposition of the scriptures, the Heavenly Father, the Messiah, the truth, right? The Israelites. What's supposed to be put out here and what's supposed to be known, they try to hide it. Who's supposed to be the judges? They say aren't. They say they are when they're not. Right? Going to Psalms 2, alluding to Psalms 2. See, in their tongue walking through the earth. Yeah, he exalted himself and says he's the Most High. He painted his he wouldn't have to destroy images if it was the truth. If it, you know, if how am I trying to say this? He wouldn't have to destroy images, right? If those images weren't true, because his world is based off a lie. So if there was a lie, they wouldn't be destroyed. He'll let them rock. You know? Anyway, it says, therefore his people return hither, and waters are of a full cup are wrung out to them. Right, because you try to get with these people, and you're not able to, because you're not built like them. And again, you're not of them. You're not an elite. You're not even of, they don't even get with all their people. Right? The attitude of or behavior, right, of a person or a group who regard themselves as belonging to an elite. You know? So coming back here to get to the point, it says, and they say, how do God know? And is there knowledge in the Most High? See that? The Lord see them, and they know the Lord see them. They you know, they get moments of having that. They start to see the things that's happening in the earth and all of that. The true elite. It says, behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. So these people are the wicked, meaning they're the Edomites. You go back, you see these people, you know, they popping champagne, they, you know, got 4 meetings a day and all this other stuff, you know. These are the Edomites, man. Without a doubt, you know. These are the wicked who what? Again, who prosper in the world. See that? They increase in riches. Why? Because it's their world. They are the elite. You know, they are the ones in which they are the ones of whose hands the earth has been given. All right. And this is a fact, and they know this. So before I even get into all that, let's just close this point out. They all know, man. You know, they all know. You know the Messiah, so-called black man. You know, so if they know the people of the Bible, the Israelites, the chosen people, you know, actually so-called black people, don't you think they know who they are? And the only place that push this lie is the places, again, where iconoclasm is pushed. But specifically what? America. Or specifically where? America. You know? They're all so-called black people. For those that never seen this. That's us. This is where he went. These are the Russian icons. You know, and it's been being brought out for years. You know, going all the way back to One West, on down to our elders, the elder apostles. You know, and we've been telling you people this. All right, so you can do your own research on this, and you could look up the so-called Black Madonna, which is a paint, which is right here. You know, the picture of Mary, right there. All right, these are all the prophets, the Israelites. They know these. You know, when we gathered around the Lord's body, they depicted that scene. It's the Messiah right there, Yahweh Shai. You know, so the point is they know, man. All right. So now, with all that being said, if they know that, right, they know everything else. You know.
Of his business, one of Germany's biggest construction companies.
These were all derelict, all trash.
He got rich with real estate and worked his way to the top.
It's a lie.
There's no better society than ours here in Germany. We have a new seating plan. Let's go. Mr. Greichen here on the right, you there, that's great.
He's a leading property market investor, generating millions of square meters of living space. Does his wealth lend him power? Christoph
That's
Grüner.
the fact, because he's an Edomite, and he's of those Edomites that allows him to be at the top of the world of the Edomites.
On his way to another meeting. Today, he wants to personally ensure that a project to construct a new neighborhood doesn't get bogged down in red tape.
It's a bit scary when you realize how easily you achieve your goals. That correlation, as I think I become. I have a vision of what I want to achieve, and bang, it works.
Yeah, see that? And that goes back to exactly what was read. You know, their eyes stand out with fatness. You know, they have more than heart can wish. You know? But that also takes you to basically showing you they're Esau. They're the wicked. Because the scripture say again, jumping down to the point, where was it at? Behold, verse 12. These are the ungodly. See, behold. Check this out. These are the ungodly. These are the ungodly. These bugs, man. You know, who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. So what it's saying, these are the ungodly, meaning these are the Edomites. Esau, who prosper in the world. These are the ones whose world, to whom the world belongs, to whom the world is named. See that? This is 2 Ezra 6:9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. Now we're going to jump to the point. All right, we'll get a couple things queued up. It says, and he said unto me, verse 1, in the beginning when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, wherever the wind, or ever the winds blew, before it thundered and lightened, or ever the fountains of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before innumerable multitudes of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or ever the chimneys in Sion were hot, and the present years, and here the present years were sought out. What's going on? Or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned. See that? Or before the inventions of them that now sin were turned. All right, before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure. So basically, before the world got to where it's at, Jake did what he did. Jake started repenting. Esau did what he did. Being the wicked and all this, right? Then I considered these things, and they were all made through me alone, right? The Lord wrote this all from the beginning. The script. It says, and they all were made through me alone and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. See that? And it says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall the end of the first, right, be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau, right? So Jacob was coming after Esau, that's what that represented when those two children was born. So basically telling you everything that we see going on comes down to the matter of it being Esau and Jacob. Esau came out first. Jacob followed after. So Esau has right now. The world and the way you see it is just a matter of Esau and why you see it the way you see it, and whom you see and why you seeing whom you're seeing. It's just nothing more than a matter of what the Bible states, what the prophets tell you, what the Lord has scripted, and that being Esau and Jacob. Esau versus Jacob. All right, that's it. It ain't nothing more complicated than that. That's not complicated. It just is what it is. For Esau, what that represent is the end of the world, right? He came out first, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So the people that have the world now, right, which is the same world that was going on when these scriptures was written, Esau that is the world you see. It's the world written in, which is why you see this world in such, at despair, and only one people in favor of it, deemed, as you see with, the term elitism, those that are physical attractiveness. When you look up GQ, right? Let's look up GQ men. All right. GQ men. Let's go to 1970. See that? GQ covers the 70s. They try to throw Jake in here and stuff like that. These sellouts. But all these men are so-called, that's the way to look. All right. As a matter of fact, before we even get into that, see that? Well, you got all these damn so-called black people trying to have damn, blonde hair, comb overs, bald faces. Look, number damn so-called white man, GQ. All right. He's the most stylish men. And to get other people to buy in and ultimately keep Jake in slavery and lost, they would have to let Jake, which is the Israelites, see that in. Then you even have damn Moab over here. But who in the center? This is how you want to look, and this is not how you don't want to look. This is not how you want to look. This is not how God, wants you to be. According to the scriptures, that's leprosy. They tell you recessiveness is in. When that was a damn plague. But see, he twisted everything. This GQ. Alright. So now, with all that being said, let's go to the meaning of GQ. It says short for Gentlemen's Quarterly. GQ is an abbreviation that stands for Gentlemen's Quarterly, a men's lifestyle magazine focusing on fashion, style, culture, among topics. See that? So basically, they're telling you like how you want to look as a man. Like this is the go-to, this is the reference. GQ covers a wide range of topics relevant to men. See that? Men, Edomite men, including fashion, style, grooming, fitness, entertainment, lifestyle, and politics. See, so they're the standard of everything. The magazine features articles on food, movies, physical fitness, so forth and so on. Right? It says GQ captures target audience. GQ caters to a sophisticated and stylish audience, aiming to inspire men to look sharper and live smarter. See that? So if you make all of them GQ magazines with them so-called white men, people gonna aspire to be like him. He basically, that's how he becomes he becomes the it. See, blue. That's crazy. Blue is everywhere. That's a lie. That's a damn lie. Because that's recessive. See, a new you for fall. So if you pick this up as a man, so-called black man, without understanding this, you're going to be out here dressing like this and shit. But it's bigger than that. It's just getting into the understanding of what is meant. Again, when you go back to lock. Hold on, I just got to pull some of these up because this is funny, man. The new masculinity. See that? This dude ain't got a damn beard, man. Damn devil. How it affects the clothes you wear and the way you live. This is sick. This is what they did to our women with the what's that magazine called, when they tricked our women into basically, thinking they don't need a man, not wanting a man. It's breaking up the so-called black households and stuff like that, because they sold a magazine article that told women lies that which obviously was modeled by women, in particular white women, and in that particular article they would have, and the editor and the owner of it, she admitted she lied and fabricated stories, and it was really for the purpose to destroy Jake, so-called black women's mentals and stuff, and make them chase just how they want us to chase this. The illusion they said a woman is to have, which is a woman being a so-called white woman, not being about marriage. It's basically Beyonce. She puts all these songs about independence, and she having so much all this crap, and she got whole children and shit. It's the same thing they did with that. I think it was called the Vanity. I forget the name of that. What's it called? But again, Esau. All right. So with all that being said, and then you got ones on here that got them influencing you to smoke. That's crazy. That's not it. That's off. It's wicked. So it goes, and these are the people, because who set these? Who set all this up? Who did it? Who covers are these? See that? Those that are of these group, this elite group, this select group, that what is able to be constructive, meaning add to and affect and take away from society. and have a greater influence and authority. All right, so I don't want to keep going too much longer. I'm pretty much getting to the point now. Now, when we come back here, it's like I said, Esau is why he is he when it says he's the end of the world, that's the world that existed when these scriptures was being written, which makes sense because we was complaining, you know, and Esau was born well before Ezra's ever was, right? And also, it's the world that still goes on now. So when you see the world going down now, and it's to a detriment, and you see a certain group of people affecting everything and favored, and is these are and they're prospering. These again, like the Lord said, are the ungodly. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. These are the Edomites. They increase in riches. So now that takes you to what? Genesis 25, and I'm going to start getting to the point, which, again, you got everything to lose it all, because that's what's written. This is Genesis 25 and verse 23, right? And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in a womb. See, 2 races and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. That's what we read in Psalms 50, right? It says, the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Who is the elder? Esau. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. See that? So he is written to serve the younger. He's the world that's now. See that? He came out first. So he has an end. The one that came out second is the one that's gonna go forever. You know? And everything you've seen in this video is a prelude to one is proof to everything, you know, that's been being said by us, who the Lord set up, the true men of the Lord, the prophets, start the elder apostles, you know. Everything the Israelites are preaching, not everything, but when it comes to this, let me just leave it there. All right, everything we're preaching, the doctrine of GMS. All right, so which is the Lord's doctrine. So it's advocating everything, you know. So when you read on, it says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau, and Esau, right, hill on Esau's hill, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him. And that's that, you know. And then it's heavy because, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, right? And that field means what? Yeah, Matthew 13. And let's start at 34. And all these things spake Yahushua unto the multitude in parables. And without a parable spake he not unto them, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet, saying, I will open my mouth in parables, I will utter things which have been kept secret from the foundation of the world. Right? and certain people don't understand what certain things is meaning, because it's coded in the scriptures. You know, what it's pointing to, who's who, the fact that the Lord is pointing out who's who, what's gonna be what, they're doing this. This means this is a sign of the end of this. This means it's gonna come, like these are the people, so forth and so on, right? He's not saving everybody, so forth and so on. Then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house. And his disciples came unto him, saying, declare unto us the parables of tares of the field. Right, so he told him plain, he explained it to him. He said, no parable. He answered and said unto them, he that sowed the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. That's the point. The field is the world. The field is the world. Esau was said to be a man of the field. Right, the good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. All right, so all that was linked up and synonymous. That's why I says, and Esau and the boys grew. Right, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, meaning he was a man of the world. It was his world because it would be his world. He's about this world. This world is of him. Like, he's all in this world. He's the one working in the world out there, all involved. It's him because it's his world. He's Esau. So when you read on, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. See, Jacob was perfect though. He was with the Lord. He was a servant and a minister of the Lord, not a servant of his own belly. Now, what ended up happening was Esau coming out first. He actually would have had the birthright, but it wasn't for him. All right. It's for Jacob, so he sold it through the Spirit. But he lied and told Isaac that he stole it from him, but he didn't. He sold it because he picked carnality over longevity. He picked having now to not have anything in the long term. Now look how that play out, which is the title of the lesson. You got everything and lose it all. he took the whole everything that Jake could have ate. He took. Only to lose it all. Which is going to be said in this chapter. And I'm going to probably get 2 more and that'd be it. This is Genesis 27. And I'm going to jump down to the point. We just jump straight to the point, man. The stolen blessing, right? Which is a lie. Because he sold it. So, yeah. He sold it. This is Genesis 27. And I'm going to start at 30. And it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that his brother came in from hunting, right? And see, missing out on all building and doing all this other stuff, and building neighborhoods and stuff like that. Or whatever, it says, he also, not saying that's necessarily talking about, but in a way is alluding to what he gets into, basically out there conquering. Because when you get into that word hunting, let's get that word hunting real quick. All right.
Strong's H 6718. Sayid.
See, victuals. See, getting everything. He out there just adding, heaping unto himself. Provisions. See that? Provisions. Let's get provisions. Yeah, let's get provisions. Provisions. Slovakia. Provisions. Provisions. Let's go here to Cambridge. It says, let's see, Slovakia. When designing buildings in this area, that's crazy. You have to make provisions against earthquakes. So, man, provisions is basically everything you could need, but like it said in Psalm 73, they have more than heart's desires, So he's like, everything I think, he's like, it's almost scary having the influence. He's like, I think it and I just get it. But that's because you either that's scary. That is scary because it's so it's so telling. All right. So we can, go into that further. So out there, trying to, gather and heap unto himself. And he missing out, man. Ultimately to, get everything he need, etc. Look, to hunt eagerly, kingly. So they're out there to get everything, but only to what? Lose it all. Because he would be doing that while this was going on. So he came in from hunting, verse 31, and he also had made savory meat and brought it unto his father. Right? And said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said, his father said unto him, who art thou? Right, he tried to give him a gift. It says, and he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn, Esau. And Isaac trembled verily exceedingly and said, who? Where is he that had taken the venison and brought it me? And I have eaten all before thou camest in. So basically they made a covenant. It says, and have blessed him. Yeah, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety and had taken away thy birthday blessing. And then we're going to jump to the point. And Isaac said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. See that? And what shall I do now unto thee? So he was out there getting that to lose it all, right? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And this to get to the point, Isaac answered his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. See that? That's it. That's Psalm 73. And the dew of the heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. See that? And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion. See that? And that's exactly what elitism is. So he would set up elitism, because we get an elitism, the advocacy or existence of an elite as a dominating element in a system or society. So this is biblical. So when we tell you it's elites, it's because it's true. He figured out, right, how to what? Have the dominion. And it says, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And how would he do that? Well, he would become a king at some point by conquering, stealing, killing, pillaging, all of that. But he a heathen. Why do the heathen reign? It says the reign of the Lord is anointed. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves. Who's the kings of the earth? The Edomites. It's talking about the elites. In this video, they're called the what? The super rich. But these are the Edomites. These are the ungodly. Behold, these are the ungodly that what? That prosper in the world. All right. This will pull up. And they're specifically the wicked. I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked, because he would use that sword to come up and gain everything, get all that fatness, right? And that fatness dealing with what? Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than eyes can wish. That fatness dealing with all the riches, basically, really the whole earth, abundance, choices, best part of products of the land, the riches or choices, the word right here is kalab. All right. So there you go. Greece, the best, or in the Hebrew Chaldee, Jacinius Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, it says the best or most excellent of any kind. See, the fat of the land, an example to be the best, and that's what the video was about. It's a imbalance, which is why people are influencing. But see, Esau only about him. He wasn't in there crying for nobody else. He was in there crying for himself. See that? Behold, this is the point though. Verse 12, behold, and we jump down to verse 11, and they say unto, because our people try to get with them, and they, do all the GQ stuff and stuff like that. But you see, it ain't fair. People try to put up with these mugs, and when you go to the listening, the beginning of the video and listen.
How much influence do the super rich wield? We sought to answer that question by looking at Gröner and many others in Germany. At first glance, it seems to be a wealthy, powerful country brimming with opportunities. But on closer examination, Germany is among those industrialized countries with the widest gap between rich and poor. Success is often dependent on social background. Why is economic mobility so low in Germany?
And look at these names, it's spiritual. You got Bun, right? Adam, Noah.
Social inequality threatening social cohesion. To find answers, we traveled the world. We spoke to a Nobel laureate.
Ali, that basically go back to Allah.
To find answers, is social inequality threatening social cohesion?
Or Elijah.
To find answers, is social
same thing basically.
Inequality threatening social cohesion? Oh, in Germany. Is social inequality threatening social cohesion?
See?
To find answers, we traveled the world. We spoke to a Nobel laureate and other leading researchers, all experts on the dynamics of inequality.
See?
The world is at a crossroads today.
People sense that the control of their nation is being stolen from them.
Inequality is the most pressing social problem facing us today.
And that's because why? The fatness of the earth was said to be given to Esau. He's going to have the fatness of the earth. Why? Because it's his. The earth has been given into his hands. And that's what people don't realize. He's going to have the fatness. He was going to have the fatness of the earth. You got to really understand that, The meaning he was going to have the earth. Go back to it so you can see it one more time. Real quick. Genesis 27 in verse 39. And Isaac his father wept, and Isaac and his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. See that? His dwelling. And of the dew of heaven from above. So he's going to have all the best of everything in the earth. That's why it's, him. And by thy sword shall live. And he's going to murder and take and fight to have it. That's his only way to have anything. But that was his way of getting everything. The best of the best. So when you go back to this Job 9, so in reality and actuality, is basically saying that the earth is going to be given into his hand. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, who and where is he? All right, but see, you got to understand when you see this, right? Matter of fact, we just go ahead and get to the point now. This is Job. I'm gonna shut this down. Job 20, I want to say this is in verse 18. It says, that which he labored for, right, shall he restore, right? Everything. He really didn't work. His work was stealing, killing, and pillaging. People in their own right, knocking people's stuff down. Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity, see, oppressors. That's what it said in the video, basically. And work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, right? Because it is in the power of their hand. See, what's the power of their hand? Not just the money, but the fact that the earth was given into their hand, through the sword. That's their blessing. So when you see these things, you're seeing what? You're seeing that these, in fact, are the ungodly. That eyes have more than eyes can wish. You know, I got to it, and it was a dang, you know, you know, it was trash.
We're the ones with opportunity, time, and money.
See, we're the ones with opportunity and time and money. So I mean, that can go on and on. But and again, they're able to do this because it's in the power of their hand. Why? Because they're Esau. You know, they're the elites. They're the Amalekites, the Temanites, the dukes of Edom, right? Anyway, and they covet fields and take them by violence. See that? And houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. All right? So that's it, man. All right? So everything he went out of his way to get, he's about to lose. This is Job 20, and I'm going to jump to the point. Let's start at 5. It says, let's start at 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth? Right? Second 6. That the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hip right. Esau was out, but it was only so long, and it was just him before Jacob was seen right there, right on this hill, you know. So Jacob gonna, you know, be right there at the end of this man, you know, taking over. And he gonna be out the way, you know. I was just all of Jacob and only Jacob. But it says, and no one coming, and no one, it wasn't triplets. No other Moab didn't come out, you know what I'm saying? Ishmael didn't come out. Ammon didn't come out. Ham didn't come out. It wasn't none of that, man. So forth and so on. So that the triumphing of the wicked is short. And they know this. So I says the devil coming down onto you having great wrath because he know his time is short. Because they know the scriptures. It says that the turn, they, you know, but they gonna still do this and hate and be mad. And
we have to get involved. We are the state.
So it's plain, man. I ain't gotta even say that enough. It says, but for in the joy of the hypocrite, right? Actors, but for a moment, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, right? Like that's why they got all the symbols of flying high animals, like, you know, the damn eagle, so forth and so on. And his head reach unto the clouds, right? Space exports. Yet he shall perish like his own dung, right? Which they have, it says they which have seen him shall say, where is he? These people about to disappear. They got everything to lose it all. Everything.
And ours is one of the best nations in the world.
And behind the scenes of his business, one of Germany's biggest construction companies.
These were all derelict, all trash.
See, as Lord say, they shall build, right? But he shall throw down. You know, I believe that's is that Micah 3? Not Micah 3, that's Obadiah. Is that Obadiah? Yep. Obadiah, man, that's the one I was just talking about. See, it's talking about Esau. All right, Edom will be humbled. They got everything who, you know, to lose it all. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee. Verse 3, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. Yeah, the hills, high up, whose habitation is high in the penthouses, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? They want to move to Mars, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, right? As the eagle, right? Exactly, it's they simple. They love that. It says, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. It's that simple. So we, you know, you spot it, and it's that simple. See, and thy mighty men, verse 9, O Teman, shall be dismayed. Those are the elites of the Edomites, you know, which ain't necessarily these people, but these people are probably related to the ones you don't see, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, you know what I'm saying, Rothschild, so forth and so on. All right, all these ones related, man. It's Rome all over again. That's what being an elite is. to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. So it don't matter if you a top, low, it don't matter. Because what they're trying to hide. So he's showing you the Lord's, that's why we're going to take over. This man could make a whole neighborhood. So this is good news. We're going to be able to, that remind me of the scripture where the Lord said, here, have you 10 cities. See that? For the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. All right. So, and the Lord, you know, is he not with you, man? You know, forget that. This in a minute. This is Amalek 1. Verse 3, and I hated Esau, laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the field, right? The dragons of the wilderness. I'm sorry. It says, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. See, build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, and that's what they do and did. It says, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. You know, and that's exactly what you're seeing. You know, the Lord's eventually going to throw them down. They're going to build, come up, do all these things.
He got rich with real estate and worked his way to the top.
There's no better society than ours here in Germany. We have a new seating plan. Let's go, Mr. Reichen. You there, that's great.
See? But all that's going to be done. Alright, so I ain't going to draw this out anymore. I'm going to go ahead and jump back to Job 20. See that? Though his excellency mount up to the heavens and his head reach unto the clouds, that's verse 6, yet shall he perish like his own dung, forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? Because they go into slavery straight after this. They're going to be out of power. He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yeah, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more. Neither shall his place any more behold him. Right? Their houses they lived in, all this. His children shall seek to please the poor. See, please the poor. And his hand shall restore their goods. Exactly. Their goods. Because they stole everything from us. And they took over other people's lands. And it is a goddamn big social gap, you know? But that's how it was written to be. That's how, basically, Jacob was telling Esau how he was going to get down. And he was telling him, you're going to have to get it how you live, basically. And that's exactly what you've seen take place and seeing. Alright? What's that? I think that's Proverbs. I'm gonna get one more in Job. That'll be it. I'm gonna close it out in that's Psalm 73. All right. This is 28. Verse 4. That's fire. Let me read this. Be not thou envious against evil men. Right? Psalm 73, verse 1. Proverbs, this is verse 1 of Proverbs 24. It says, neither desire to be with them. See that? It's that simple. Because their end is going to be out of there, man. Them giving it all back. For their heart studied destruction, their lips talk of mischief. They didn't get it the right way. They the wicked. They got it by being the wicked. Through wisdom is the house builded, and by understanding it is established. See that? And by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. Alright? This is what I wanted. This is Proverbs 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, see, the people bear rule, the people mourn. So this is how we know these people are the wicked, because people are mourning. All right, they're complaining because why? They the elite. They the Edomites. They're only about them. All right. But that's why I say, according to his substance shall the restitution be. So anyway, going back to Job 20, it says, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Exactly, his whole family. Bones represent family members in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, right? But keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat and his bowels shall be turned. Eventually, these mothers are gonna lose it. It's not gonna sit well with them. He's not gonna be able to hold it in. It is the gall of ass within him. It's gonna be his poison, stomach poison. He gonna have to let all this stuff go. Let it all out, from his lies to all the substance he gained, everything. It's what the Lord is saying. He has swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. See that? He shall cast them out of his belly. He shall cast them out of his belly. See that? And it's that simple. It says, so he got everything and lose it all. That's why the Lord said, what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? He shall suck the poison of asp, and it says the vipers shall slay him. The viper's tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter. Right? He not the Israelites. He's not going to have the kingdom of heaven, which it hasn't came yet and is about to come. So this is how we know you gained everything there is to gain now to lose it all. Right? It says, that which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein, because he hath oppressed and has forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away a house which he builded not. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly, he shall not save of that which he desired. Right? So there shall none of his meat be left, therefore shall no man look for his goods. See that? And it's that simple. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand, so the Lord let them get, basically he Pharaoh, build as high as he can, become as powerful as he can, and he gonna take everything away from him. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. And that's exactly what the Lord is about to do. When he is about to fill his belly, crown his empire with that damn tag system, right, switching over to the quantum, it says, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. And that's going to be them missiles, and he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow still shall strike him due, because his headquarters is going to be out of there, and that's goddamn the missiles. It is drawn and cometh out of the body, right? Those the silos, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall, terrors are upon him. Those silos that hold the missiles is gonna shoot out of it. That's the glittering sword, and it's out of there. And it says the heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. Right? The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. And whose wrath? That's the Most High's wrath. This is the portion of a wicked man from God, and the heritage appointed unto him. See that? By God. That's how you know these people are Esau. So I'll come back with another lesson. Lord willing, I'm on this, dealing with, basically elitism. He gained it all to he got everything to lose it all. So again, Psalms 73 and 7. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than their heart could wish. Right? So they think. It says, therefore, verse 10, his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung up, of a full cup are wrung out to them. The Lord, because he ain't sharing. You know, we without. So the Lord, you know, he's refreshing us and he's cooling us off. He's you know, he's hydrating us. He's letting us know it's okay. He gave us this word to where we able to hold on. You know, and they say, how do God know? Like how we, you know, out here, people can really tell it's a big social, you know, economic gap. These people crazy, man. Yeah, man. That made the CNI now see. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. Behold, these are the ungodly. These are the ungodly who prosper in the world. Right? They increase in riches.
Today, he wants to personally ensure that a project to construct a new neighborhood doesn't get bogged down in red tape.
It's a bit scary when you realize how easily you achieve your goals. That correlation, as I think I become. I have a vision of what I want to achieve, and bang, it works. And when you go a step further, and that works too, it's powerful.
Because in the power of his hand, call on like Yabash Shalom.